Do you ever feel disconnected when chanting Hare Krishna? My name is Caitanya Vallabha, and today we're going to be exploring and asking the question, is Krishna there when we chant the holy name? And if not, why not? So there are many verses throughout the Shastra which explain that the Lord and his name are one and the same, that Krishna is definitely present when we chant Hare Krishna. So I've picked 3 verses or quotes here, which I'm just going to read out for you. So the first one is from a lecture from Srila Prabhupada in 1968 in Seattle on October the 20th. So Srila Prabhupada says, Krishna and Krishna's name are non-different. As soon as you chant Hare Krishna, that means Krishna is dancing on your tongue. So the next one is actually a prayer by Srila Rupa Goswami, and this is quoted in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Anchalila. I do not know how much nectar the 2 syllables Krishna have produced. When the holy name of Krishna is chanted, it appears to dance within the mouth. We then desire many, many mouths. When that name enters the holes of the ears, we desire many, many millions of ears. And when the holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart, it conquers the activities of the mind, and therefore all the senses become inert. And the last verse I've chosen today, this is a verse or a prayer by a great saint in our line called Tukaram. So he said, if you're lying down and chanting, the Lord will come and sit with you. And if you're sitting and chanting, the Lord will come and stand next to you. And if you get up and you're standing and chanting, the Lord will come and dance with you. And if you're dancing and chanting, the Lord will come and embrace you. So these are just 3 examples which explain how the Lord is certainly present. Like we heard Srila Prabhupada said, Krishna is dancing on your tongue when you chant Hare Krishna. In fact, I remember the very first time that I chanted Hare Krishna. I was a student at the time. I was studying ancient history and archaeology in Liverpool University. And I was away in France on an archaeological dig. And one day of the dig, it was raining so hard, really, really raining hard. And so we had to abandon the dig temporarily. So everyone went into this hut. There was this kind of metal hut, and everyone was in there, and they were kind of smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee. And there was just a really kind of depressing atmosphere. Now, I should have mentioned that I first read one of Srila Prabhupada's books while I was studying at university. One of my friends in his room in the halls of residence had a book by Srila Prabhupada called Life Comes from Life. And the reason I was studying ancient history and archaeology was because I was interested in ancient civilizations. I was aware that many ancient civilizations were more advanced than ourselves. Their architecture, their knowledge of the stars, and also that they seemed to be in touch with a deeper aspect of life. So I was looking for this lost wisdom, this lost knowledge, this lost civilization. So therefore I went to study ancient history and archaeology. And anyway, one of my friends in his room, he had this book, Life Comes from Life by Srila Prabhupada. And I read that book in one sitting. I caught the train from Liverpool to go and visit my friend in North Wales in Bangor. He was studying at Bangor University. And I read that book in one sitting. And when I read it, it was like, wow, this is what I'm looking for. There was something very kind of familiar about it and something completely new and exotic. But I felt this is what I've been looking for. This is the lost knowledge. This is that lost wisdom. This is that lost civilization. And then I found a load more of Srila Prabhupada's books in a second-hand bookshop in Liverpool. One day I was walking down into town and I had a little voice inside my head and my heart, which I now understand was Krishna. And it was like, why don't you go to this bookshop? Maybe you'll find some more books by this same author. So I went there and I did. I found about maybe 10 books by Srila Prabhupada, including The Science of Self-Realization, Krishna book, and many small books, Bhagavad Gita also, Anyway, so throughout the summer, I was reading these books. So when I was on this archaeological dig, on this particular day, as I said, it was raining and it was so miserable. So I decided to go off on my own into the woods, even when it was raining, and I just decided to chant Hare Krishna, because in Srila Prabhupada's books, all throughout the books, Prabhupada kept saying, chant Hare Krishna. And I didn't really know what it meant to chant Hare Krishna, but I just had a go. So I started chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. And like this, and I started to get so much into it that I spontaneously started to dance. And I was chanting and dancing on the woods in my own, in the middle of the pouring rain. And to any onlooker, I must have looked like a complete lunatic. But I was experiencing such a pleasure, such a taste, such a happiness that I'd never experienced before. It was ecstatic, actually. And I was just singing and dancing like that on my own for about 10 or 15 minutes. So the purpose in telling you this is that when I very first chanted Hare Krishna, I did certainly experience something. And looking back now, it was like, Krishna was giving me a taste. It was my first contact with Krishna for maybe millions of lifetimes. And Krishna was pleased that I was chanting Hare Krishna. Krishna reciprocates. In the Bhagavad Gita, it says, Ye yata mam prapadyante tams tataiva bhajamyaham. As they surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. So I didn't know what I was doing, but Prabhupada had been saying in all the books that I'd been reading, chant Hare Krishna. So I gave it a go. And as I say, I got such a pleasure, such a taste. And I would also say, I've probably never had the same experience again when chanting japa, at least. I've certainly been in some ecstatic kirtans, but certainly I can't say that every time my japa is ecstatic like that. And that's because, of course, Krishna, he gives us a taste. Sometimes the devotees there use this example. They say, just like a drug dealer, or like, let's say, when you go to a supermarket, sometimes they're outside the supermarket and they're giving out some free ice cream, just like a little pot. And so those little ice creams, they're free. So you get a free sample. But the idea is that when you get that free sample, you enjoy it that much that then you have to go and buy. And then the price is quite expensive. So sometimes devotees explain like that. Krishna gives us a free sample. He gives us a taste when we start chanting Hare Krishna. But then we have to pay for it. In other words, we have to surrender and we have to start to sincerely try and follow the process of Krishna consciousness. So my experience was that, yes, I did experience something otherworldly, something, spiritual, something transcendental. However, my experience is that I don't always taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. When I'm chanting Hare Krishna, I don't always experience that Krishna's there. Sometimes it feels like Krishna is not there at all, and I'm just banging my head against the wall. So why is that? So, many years ago, the very first time I went to Vrindavan, I bought a nice book in Loy Bazaar called Japa Meditations, Contemplations on Entering the Holy Name. It's a very nice book. You can get a copy. So it's by Danador Swami. So he gives a really nice analogy in the book. He explains that for a river to flow nicely, it needs to have two riverbanks, one on either side. If there's only one riverbank, the river will overflow into the fields, and then the water will stop moving and it will become stagnant and disease will spread. And the same, if there's only one riverbank on the other side, the water will overflow. So in the same way, for our love and devotion, our river of devotion to flow to Krishna's lotus feet, then there has to be two riverbanks. So one bank is the bank of Vipralamba, and the other riverbank is the bank of Sambhoga. So Vipralamba means separation from Krishna. In other words, we're feeling disconnected from Krishna. And Sambhoga means union or connection with Krishna. So sometimes when we're chanting Hare Krishna, we feel connected and we feel like, yes, now I remember why I became a devotee of Krishna. And sometimes we're chanting and we think, this is useless. This doesn't even work. But if we only ever feel connected to Krishna, this Sambhoga, this, union with Krishna, if we always feel connected to Krishna every time we chant the holy names, what would happen is we will take Krishna for granted. We will take Krishna cheaply. And we will see that it's just some ritualistic activity that as soon as I chant Hare Krishna, Krishna's there. And then, like they say, familiarity breeds contempt. And there'll be no drive, there'll be no ambition to improve our devotion or to become more sincere or to become purified or to become more advanced. We'll take Krishna cheaply. But similarly, if we only ever feel disconnected from Krishna, we're always feeling vipralamba, disconnected, then what eventually will happen is we'll just think, is Krishna even there? Does this process even work? And we will lose our faith and we will throw our bead bag in the corner of the room. What is the point? I'm not feeling that Krishna's there. Like we said, we read so many verses where it said Krishna's dancing on the tongue, but I'm not feeling that. So both riverbanks have to be there. Sometimes we have to be feeling connected to Krishna, and sometimes we have to be feeling disconnected to Krishna, because otherwise our river of devotion will overflow into the field and it will become stagnant. Our devotion will become stagnant. And then disease, like they say, instead of love and devotion, it will become lust and commotion, and then eventually rust and corrosion. We can't function. So therefore, both riverbanks have to be there. So we shouldn't worry if we sometimes feel disconnected from Krishna when we're chanting. This is just the other riverbank. And similarly, when we feel connected to Krishna, we shouldn't take that cheaply, and we shouldn't enjoy that too much. We should understand that both riverbanks have to be there for our devotion to flow nicely. And especially when Krishna's not there, or we feel we can't perceive Krishna, that is Krishna giving us the opportunity to increase our sincerity, to increase our surrender, to increase our devotion, to increase our prayer, to improve our mood. Like Srila Prabhupada said that chanting Hare Krishna, it should be done just like a genuine cry of a child for its mother. Please help me. Please accept me. Please engage me in your service. Krishna, why are you not there? Please, engage me. Please show me that you are there in your holy name. So, as we were giving the analogy of the river, I wanted to end with a very beautiful prayer by Queen Kunti. It is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the teachings of Queen Kunti. So she says, O Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges forever flows towards the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn to you without being diverted to anyone else. So, thank you very much for watching this video today. As I said, my name is Caitanya Vallabha. If you haven't already, please like this video, leave a comment, share some of your japa experiences or your kirtan experiences. Please let us know when you felt that Krishna was present when you were chanting, or let us know when you felt that Krishna wasn't there when you were chanting. Please share this video. Please subscribe to this channel. We will be releasing a video every Friday, all about reflections in Krishna consciousness, book distribution, Sankirtan, inspiration. So thank you very much, and we will see you again next week. Hare Krishna, Gauranga.